every bite of food that we eat is directly or indirectly connected with photosynthesis. Today, let us actually understand how exactly this process occurs. So, children, in the previous video, we have learned that plants are autotrophs because they prepare their own food, right? So, plants are autotrophs because they prepare their own food. But how does this actually food making process happen? In this video, we are going to understand that. So, the process by which autotrophs like plant they prepare their own food is called as photosynthesis. Before we go in detail, let us break this word down. So if you see, this photosynthesis word is made with two words. So what are they? We'll see. They are, first one is photo and second one is synthesis. So what is the meaning of photo? Actually, photo nothing but it is nothing but light. Okay, photo is equals to light, and synthesis nothing but to make or to produce or put together or to make. So what did we say? This photosynthesis word is a combination of two small little words. First little word is photo, the meaning of this is light, and a bit longer word, that is synthesis. The meaning of this is to put something together, to join something together, or to make something. So here what is being made in this process? Food is being made in this process. So what is photosynthesis? If you want to sum up in simple terms, photosynthesis is nothing but the process by which plants make their food. Process by which plants make their food is called as photosynthesis, but still it is incomplete. I told making food, making something. Here something is food. What about this that we have to use? So let us revise this definition. The process by which plants make their food by using sunlight. By using sunlight. This process is called as photosynthesis. So what is photosynthesis? The process by which plants make their food by using sunlight is called as photosynthesis. But if we go in terms of textbook definition, we also have to little bit change the definition like this. So the definition speaks something like this. Definition. The definition is nothing but photosynthesis, a process, okay, by which a process by which green plants, okay, plants which are green in color, I'm talking textbook definition, okay, a process by which green plants make their own food. So green plants, they are making their own food by using some simple substances. And what are those simple substances? Such as carbon dioxide CO2, water H2O, in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Sunlight and chlorophyll. So the process by which green plants they make their own food by using some simple substances such as CO2, H2O, sunlight in the presence of chlorophyll. Such a process is called as photosynthesis. Okay, children, and so by this definition we can understand the basic raw materials required for photosynthesis. In my previous video I have already talked about those raw materials, but let us once again recall. First raw material is CO2, second is H2O, third is sunlight, and fourth is chlorophyll. So how does a plant is going to absorb H2O or CO2? First CO2, what is going to happen? Leaves, shall I show it separately? For CO2, leaves, as I told you, leaf has tiny small structures, pore like structures called as stomata, and the stomata in the leaf, that is going to take the CO2. This stomata present in the leaf, it is going to absorb the CO2 from the atmosphere, from the nature, right, from the outside environment, from the atmosphere. So from atmosphere CO2 is absorbed by the stomata present in the leaf. And what about the H2O? H2O roots, they are going to absorb. Roots, they are going to absorb from where they absorb? Roots, they absorb from the soil, right? Roots of the plant, okay, it is plant, assume. So here we have underground roots. So the roots of the plant, they absorb water. They absorb water from the soil. They absorb water from the soil and they transfer this water to all the parts of the plant, especially the water reaches the leaf, where it is called as kitchen of the plant, where this process of food making is going to happen. So the roots that absorb water, H2O, from soil and transfer to leaves. Talking about sunlight, sunlight is a natural, what we say, nature giving ingredient, like nature's ingredient, I would say. It is present all over, everywhere, right? All over, it's like a nature's gift. So sunlight, they can directly, automatically they can take. Who can take? Plants can take. Next, talking about chlorophyll. Chlorophyll also, it's like nature's, what we say, god gifted or nature gifted, we can say. Like in the leaf of a plant, chlorophyll is naturally present. No one can remove it if it is present, right? So these two are like life supporting ingredients, like these two are like nature supported ingredients, like nature itself is supporting these two materials. First one is sunlight and second one is what? Chlorophyll. Talking about the remaining two, these remaining two, CO2 and H2O, plant itself is taking. CO2 stomata will help and H2O roots are going to help. Okay, so moving ahead with the basic process that happens. Step number 1, the stomata present in the leaf. So these tiny structures, let me just enlarge one structure, one tiny pore, okay, one small hole like structure I am elaborating, and I right those beans. It's just like that. It is open stomata. Why am I saying open? If pore, you can see the small pore, the gap. So it is called as, it is a condition of open stomata, where the hole is visible, where the pore is open. Open stomata. When stomata closes, it looks something like this. Is that point clear? So now when plant wants CO2, stomata is going to help. It is going to open it up like this, and from here inside, CO2 is going to go inside and plant is going to use it. Okay, talking about next ingredient, that is H2O. As I told, plant definitely has roots underground. So these roots are all, obviously they are present in soil. It is soil, these are roots, and in soil it is water, H2O. So the roots from what they do is they absorb the H2O from the soil and they transfer it to the leaf, and from here the plant can use it for the process of food making. Talking about third ingredient, that is sunlight. As I told you, it is present everywhere, naturally, right? Okay, the plant will take this also, sunlight also. And inside leaf, what we have? Chlorophyll we have. So first, what is going to happen? The stomata, it is going to take CO2, water reaches the leaf, and here in the presence of sunlight, chlorophyll traps this sunlight. Whichever sunlight is falling on the plant, that sunlight, who is trapping? Chlorophyll is like catching the sunlight, and then inside the leaf, in the kitchen of the plant, what is going to happen? This solar energy will be converted into chemical energy. The solar energy will be converted into chemical energy. And who is trapping that solar energy? Chlorophyll is trapping that solar energy. So solar energy converting into chemical energy, a chemical process will happen, and ultimately these all ingredients will end up preparing food of the plant, and this food will be in the form of glucose. Okay children, so this food will be in the form of glucose. So what is happening actually? So CO2 is being utilized, CO2, then H2O, in the presence of sunlight, and then chlorophyll. What is happening? Food of the plant is prepared, and that food is in the form of glucose. It is in the form of glucose. Is that point clear? So after this, along with this, what is going to happen, children? Along with food, something other is also produced. What is that? It is our life sustaining gas, the gas that we breathe. Can you guess? Yes, you're absolutely right. It is oxygen. Along with the food production, O2 gas, oxygen gas, is also produced as a end product. Is this point clear, children? So the food produced, the immediate product, first food produced will be in the form of glucose. So what is going to happen is, if there is more glucose, excess of glucose is there, at that time, if the glucose is excess, then that will be converted to glucose, will get converted to starch, and this starch will be stored in the parts of the plant as stored food or reserved food. Like how we use a refrigerator to store the food if something is left over. In the same manner, if the glucose made is very excess means what? Large in quantity or more. If it is present in larger quantity or more in quantity, then that glucose will be converted into starch. Plant will do that conversion. Okay, you need not have to worry. The glucose will get converted into starch, and that is stored as a stored food inside the plant body. Plant can use this stored starch whenever it wants. Clear? Whenever, let's assume a day is there are days where there is no sunlight. They, at that time, photosynthesis is going to come down, it is going to slow down. At that time, this stored food can be used by the plant instead of starving means instead of being hungry and not eating food, the plant has the stored food. Just like how we use our stored food, children, how we use our refrigerator, stored food at emergency purposes, in the same manner, plants also can use this stored food in the time of at the time of emergencies. Okay, so moving ahead, so today we also learned one thing, that is along with glucose, oxygen gas is also released into the atmosphere, into the nature. We will see the word equation of photosynthesis, and then we'll see chemical equation also. Word equation is like this, just same. CO2 H2O plus sunlight in the presence of chlorophyll, it will produce food which will be in the form of glucose, and along with that O2 will be liberated. O2 will, this top arrow, upward arrow symbol, it represents, it's a gas, and that will be released at the end of this process. So these are the raw materials required. These are the raw materials required for this process of photosynthesis, and these two are the products. Products means result. Products are the result that we get after this process of photosynthesis. Is this point clear, children? Let us move forward to chemical equation, very important. Okay, chemical equation, let us write the equation now. So what is going to happen? We are going to use the same ingredients, will be same, nothing will be different, but we will add the number of that. Okay, like 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So whatever is written above and below the arrow, it indicates in the presence of. Okay, in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, it gives rise to C6H12O6 plus 6O2. So here, this is carbon dioxide, it is water. This C6H12O6 is nothing but glucose, and this is our oxygen. Is this point clear, children? So glucose is the food of the plant. The plant is going to consume its food, and oxygen we are going to take, as after this process oxygen will be released, right? Oxygen will be released, and we are going to breathe this oxygen. So can we breathe without oxygen? Can we survive? No, not at all. That is why, see how important photosynthesis is. What photosynthesis is doing? Photosynthesis is, first of all, okay, number one, if we talk the importance of photosynthesis, The first point that I would like to highlight is it is the energy source. It is the energy source for all the living organisms. Like, if like plants are the organisms which prepare food, right? So because of them, as they are the food makers, they are the producers, and we eat plants directly, or we depend upon animals. This animal also, whatever animals that we depend upon, they are also ultimately they depend upon plants. So directly or indirectly, plants are the energy source, what we say, of energy source providers, nothing but what we can say, they are the source of food. They are the source of food. They provide us energy. They are the source of getting energy, nothing but they are the source of food for all the living organisms. Why? Because we depend upon plants or we depend upon animals, but these animals which we depend upon, they are ultimately dependent upon plants. So directly or indirectly, plants only is coming as the ultimate organisms which are the producers. So directly or indirectly, we are dependent upon plants. So these plants, if they do this process of photosynthesis, then only they'll be able to prepare food, and then only they'll be able to produce oxygen. So they, as they prepare their food, so they will be alive, they will survive only if they have food. Without food, can they survive? No. So they are preparing food, that's why they are surviving, and other animals, and we are eating them. So ultimately, they are the energy providers or food providers for us, for all the organisms present on this universe. Okay, talking about next importance, that is obviously, as you can see, after glucose, what is there? Oxygen is there. So oxygen is released as the end product of photosynthesis. If there is no oxygen gas, can we survive? Can animals survive? Can we survive? No. Even plant needs oxygen for respiration purpose. No one can survive without oxygen. Okay, children, ultimately oxygen is the life supporting gas. It is a life sustaining gas which is going to support life. Without that, without oxygen, there is no life. Okay, moving ahead to third importance, that is, third importance is photosynthesis. It helps to maintain the balance. Okay, it maintains the balance between CO2 and oxygen. So carbon dioxide and oxygen. This process of photosynthesis, it actually helps to maintain the balance between the gases CO2 and oxygen in the environment. So we release so much of CO2 that, to if there is excess of CO2, then what is going to happen? Earth temperature will warm up, right? It is going to increase, and we feel suffocation. Excess of CO2 becomes toxic. Toxic means dangerous, harmful. So ultimately, CO2 and O2 balance, who is maintaining? Plants are maintaining. Whatever CO2 we release, they are absorbing, and whatever O2 they release, we are absorbing, like we are breathing it, right? Ultimately, so like this balance is maintained by the plants. And the fourth point is photosynthesis helps to convert solar energy into chemical energy. So what is the importance, like what is the importance in this energy conversion? Like solar energy is converting into chemical energy, what can we benefit from this? See children, for us to perform activities, we need energy. Yes or no? To perform any kind of activity, we need energy. And what we believe, and what we obviously, what is true, we get this energy from food. Yes or no? Okay, so what is going to happen now? Understand this chain. Plant is going to prepare food by using sunlight as one of the ingredient. Means sunlight is also involved, solar energy is also involved, and with this solar energy, plant is making the food of glucose. Okay, food. So in this food, ultimately solar energy is present. Yes or no? And when the animal eats this food, or when we eat this food, when we eat plant or other animal, what is going to happen? This solar energy will be transferred to our body. See, we can't, what we can't do, we can't capture sunlight because as we don't have chlorophyll, we don't have the capturing power, we can't capture sunlight. Our body also needs solar energy to function. So what is happening? We can't capture sunlight, we can't absorb sunlight directly, we can't use it directly. Then how can we get this energy? We are getting this energy by way through plants, because plants ultimately they prepare food by solar energy. Means inside them, inside the food, what is there? Solar energy is there. If any animal eats a plant, this animal will get the contents of solar energy, and when we eat either this plant or this animal, we will get, either if we eat this plant or this animal, whatever we eat, plant or animal, we will get this solar energy. So ultimately, as we can't absorb the solar energy directly, but photosynthesis is helping us to get this energy. Is this clear, children? Okay. So what is the fact? Ultimately, what is the fact? Fact is every one of us are ultimately dependent upon photosynthesis. Is this point clear, children? Okay, let us go with some quick recap questions, Q&A. So what you can do is you can pause the video and you can either go with oral test or you can go with a short written test. Okay, we have the questions. First one is, what is photosynthesis? Second one, which pigment traps sunlight? Through which pores does CO2 enter? What is the immediate food produced by plants called? Which gas is released as the end result of photosynthesis? So if you have any doubts, let me know in the comments to answer these questions, and follow the clever chalk to make your concept spark. Thank you. Bye.